Going quickly into stress chemistry, fight or flight, being oppositional or withdrawing or avoiding. It's unlikely that without some attention, some guidance, and some work to break that pattern and reestablish a more productive pattern, that child is truly going to thrive as a young adult.
So the parent's attention to this child is much more likely to become successful, more along the lines of self-esteem, it sounds like.
In the book, I quote a study done of adults who had attentional problems as children. And across the board, when they were asked what one factor made the difference, they said it was having an adult who believed in them.
Right. Well, there are all kinds of situations that our children go through every day anyway, and it's not an easy world to live in. I think it is much harder these days. So I do think that one of the things you're saying is that whether the child is ADD, ADHD, has problems concentrating, or is just having times growing up a difficulty, that there are different alternatives as a parent to finding out what works for them. Every child is very individual. Every child has different alternatives as far as schooling alternatives, nutrition perhaps. Am I hearing you right on that?
Yes, and we want to be celebrating a child's individuality, not snuffing it out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dreamers, Discoverers, and Dynamos is written for both parents and educators to help get at the core of the strengths in a child's personality, so we can build from those strengths.
I really like the positive attitude, build from the strengths. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And when we come back, we'll be speaking with another assistant that helps us with parenting, another way of looking at the individual child. And we'll be back in just a moment.
There will always be honor. There will always be courage. There will always be commitment. There will always be pride. And there will always be a need for those who make sure it is so. Maybe you have what it takes to be one of us, the few, the proud, the Marines.
What would you do if you had to choose between the buffalo and the giraffes? Between a flower or an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Would you make the right choice? Would there be a right choice? Now there's a way to help. Not just one, but all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with. Ask your employer about workplace giving.
And we're back. I'm with my second guest, and it's Catherine Tilley. Catherine is the founder of the Institute for Global Healing, and she is also a licensed clinical hypnotherapist. Now, with that practice, she works on concentrating on life skills for women, children, and teens. She's also the facilitator of a very interesting project here in the United States called Miracles International and Sleep Talk. And we actually have one of the CD packets, cassette packets and book inside here. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in just a minute. Welcome to the show, Catherine.
Thank you.
Now, one of the things that the Institute of Global Healing that you are the founder of does is really concentrates on helping heal and teaching, like we said, life skills. But you work a lot with the youth. with young children, and why do you believe women and young children is the target and is so especially important for this type of project?
Well, I really believe that children are actually brought here into this world as our teachers. I think they come in with amazing gifts and unlimited potential, but primarily to teach us about love and unconditional acceptance. And I think we don't actually put enough emphasis on that. We don't recognize this wonderful gift that they come into the world with. And when they talk about, when you see a little child, how a child will love you unconditionally. They will accept you no matter what you do. Right. They just have that. And I think it's a great lesson for us. It's a teaching for us. And I think they have this unlimited potential. So I'm just looking for ways to really spark that potential and to stay there and to really nurture that.
Now, one of the special projects is Miracles International and the sleep talk method. Now, when I heard about it originally, I was fascinated because I thought, well, she's a hypnotherapist, and the originator is also a hypnotherapist, and the possibilities of being a parent and actually working with your child with this was intriguing. Could you explain to the audience exactly what happens with Sleep Talk?
Well, Sleep Talk is a phenomenal program. I sought out Sleep Talk when I first heard about it. I was at one of our conferences and I had heard about the Sleep Talk, and I said, I know that sleep itself takes you into that subconscious level and you deal with all the different brain waves, and there's a way of accessing the different brain levels for children. So I thought, oh, what a great program, let me go see what it's about. And it's absolutely phenomenal. The originator is a clinical nutritionist as well as a psychotherapist, and she has created this program because her daughter, had cerebral palsy, and so there was an attention span that she didn't have the concentration when she was trying to teach her daughter or help her daughter learn things. She was coming up against that attention difficulties. So what she decided to do is to find another way. How can we actually help Michelle, that's her name, to feel more confident and feel more secure, and let her know that there are things that she can do and she's okay the way she is. And so she created this process called Sleep Talk for Children, and it's absolutely amazing.
Now, if you could just explain real briefly exactly how a parent does it, and also let us know that even myself, not having any hypnotherapy experience, and anyone out there can do this, and how it works and why they can do it as well, even if they're not trained as a hypnotherapist.
Well, actually, this doesn't have anything to do with hypnosis or hypnotherapy. It just so happens that in hypnosis we study about the different brain waves and how they work and how the subconscious works and how it holds all of our main belief systems. So that in itself just was telling me how powerful this program could be. But it really has nothing to do with hypnosis or hypnotherapy. It's a process that is very simple, and it's so simple sometimes that people say, it can't be that simple. It just can't be. And what it is it's a process that teaches you how to awaken a certain brain awareness in a child while they're asleep. And once you have done that, you basically give them a foundation of you are loved and you are lovable. And it's really so very simple, but it is the most powerful thing I have ever seen happen. And that's mostly because we either come from a place of love or a place of fear in life. And that really dictates, whether we will be successful or not in this life, is if we come from a place of love or a place of fear.
Right. And I can personally say that I've experienced it. I'm going into the third week working with Sleep Talk with my son Devin, and he has been in the past diagnosed with ADHD, and concentration and sometimes frustration and anger and temperament have been an issue in school as well as at home. And in 3